Okay, so here is my palette that we put together last week. And I kind of want to show you, I've updated it as you can see. I put stickers on it because I'm 12. But also, I decided that I wanted to reserve a little bit of a mixing area. So this is actually just a makeup pan. Let me pull this out. So these two in the middle are just, when you have makeup and it's empty and there's little metal pans in it. I dug them out. They were glued in. And this little circle, it's made of stainless steel so that it will magnetize, came with this. This is a makeup holder box from Amazon. It has a magnet sheet inside. I paid $3 for it, and it came with a bunch of these circular magnets. It's made for makeup. I did have to re-glue the magnet down with super glue because it was coming up, and that's beside the point. I'm going to be using this to store my pans in that aren't being used for my art toolkit because I'm really excited to show you what I've got. But anyway, I made this little mixing area and it works. Let me show you. So this is made using gel nail polish. So it's basically it's resin with a matte finish. I am not going to do a tutorial on it. It's working okay. It's kind of staining. Not too bad. Not any worse than the sticker on the art toolkit. But let me show you. If I had used a gloss top coat, I think it would have been better. But I digress. I used white gel nail polish. Of course, I did a base coat. And then I sealed it with a matte top coat. And so now I have this little mixing area. Now, this is also a makeup pan from a makeup palette like this. So do you see what I'm saying? I wasn't using any of these colors. I ended up dropping it on accident and they all cracked and it was a mess. So I just scraped them all out. I washed this really well and I was going to make an actual palette out of this. And I did make an actual palette out of the one that this came out of. But these ones, I just pulled it out. I stuck a magnet on the bottom from my magnet sheets and it sticks. It's not the best like magnetic adherence, but it works. So anyway, that's where that came from. These are not stainless steel. So these little guys, these are stainless steel. They're going to stick to a magnet. See, they'll stick to any magnet. Whereas the ones that are aluminum will not. So here I have this box. These are the little sticker, stainless steel sticker thingies that came with that magnet thing. And then here's a bunch of those pans. That's what they look like. And then I put the magnet stuff on the bottom. And that was before I got these. So anyway, this is just me experimenting and playing around. And these, like, holy crap, these stick to this metal tin box really, really well. This tin box was, where did I get this? I think I got it on Etsy. I got 2 of them. And I used to have them as my watercolor palette. Like, it stayed open on my desk like this. Anyway, I don't want to get too far off track. My point is, I decided to play around with the configuration of this because I had both the large pans and the small pans. Now, these colors are the same colors that I had in it before. I did go ahead and add back in the manganese blue hue and the aureolin. And then that is actually the bismuth, that is bismuth vanadate, aureolin, Mars yellow. I left out the nickel azo on this one. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. And then this one, I ran out of the Cobalt Teal. This is actually a different brand of Cobalt Teal Blue, and it's staying sticky. I can't use it. As you can see, it sticks to the lid. And it will not dry for the life of me. Like, it is wet, and it's been poured for days. So, this is a little piece of a Daniel Smith watercolor stick. And if you decide to do this, just a heads up, you need to slice it pretty thin because this one is still sticking to the roof of this because of how thin this is. You can see that it kind of sticks up above there. So just be aware of that. Anyway, so I really like this configuration with the little pans surrounding, and I've got this little extra mixing spot here. I may end up removing that. It feels kind of redundant. I could actually add in a few more pans, or I could actually fill this with another color. And then this one is the Joseph Z's Cool Gray that we talked about last time. Okay, so you might be wondering, what happened to all the regular sized pans that you had in here? Let me show you. So last week I mentioned that I got that little guy for Christmas, and I was really hoping to get the folio palette, the larger size palette, for my birthday. And guess what, y'all? My birthday came, and the birthday fairy came, and I got it. And look, okay, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for you guys. I couldn't wait to like open it and put it together and put stickers on it because I'm 12. So I'm sorry, but it's already put together. But I want to show it to you. So as you can see, this one comes with a big old bag. So here's the two boxes. They both came in the same size box. So there you go. And let's see. So this one is the bag for the small one. I love these bags so much. And I now have extra small pans. And with this one, I ordered. So this one, I decided to go with the black on this one. And it's still metal. Now this one, I got the two extra large mixing pans. And they each come in their own bag, because you buy them one by one. And then I haven't opened it yet. This is how they come. So this is the mini pans. I got 10 more mini pans, just in case I decided to do a certain configuration. All right, let's head over to the Art Toolkit website, and I want to show you what I was inspired by. So first off, this guy right here. I am inspired by this one, and that's kind of what I was thinking I would want to do, right? That's how we put it together. And then I realized those larger pans would be better for my larger palette, and the smaller pans would be better for my smaller palette. What I originally wanted to do was what I saw here. I don't know why, but this inspires me so much. Having two pans in the middle surrounded by colors. And if you look at this, the way she's got this laid out, she's got yellow, so like her yellowy warm colors, and then it starts to head into the reds, and then down here is all the cool colors. And it looks like what she's doing is mixing the cool colors here and the warm colors over here. I love that. It's aesthetically pleasing, and I wish they still had the green palette, because I would have bought that in a heartbeat. But anyway, I'm really inspired by this, so I decided to order what I needed to build this exact palette. So I do have what I need for this. By the way, this is Lisa Spangler, I want to say. Yeah, Lisa Spangler milled. Y'all, it's 10:45 at night. It's been a day. It's New Year's Eve for me. And anyway, so this is it. It's gorgeous. I love it. And I wanted to build it. Okay, so here we are. Let's set these guys aside. And let's open this. I want to show you what I built. Get it open. It's not as aesthetically pleasing to me as that other one with the tiny pans for some reason. But here's where I'm at. This is my thought process. So this guy isn't even half the size. I thought it was half the size. It's even smaller than half the size. Well, maybe. There you have it. So there's the size difference between the two. So this one goes in my crossbody bag. And in that crossbody bag, I have a tiny sketchbook, like I showed you before. And I have smaller brushes. So my brushes are usually water brushes or smaller travel brushes. And I'm painting smaller things. So it would make sense to have the smaller pans, right? Now this one is going to go in my larger sketching kit that goes in my backpack. And this one goes with a larger sketchbook. It's, I think it's an A5 size sketchbook. So it's like 8 by 5. Whereas this one's 3 by 5. So I wanted the size of the palette and the size of the pens to match the size of the brush, the size of the sketchbook. It makes more sense. So instead of doing the 28 small pans like I was planning on doing, I just went ahead and added in my pans around the outside, and I did the regular size pans. And I will also mention to you that I did like 4 or 5 different pours on these, and I rounded them. You can see it, they're like pillow top. I want to recommend to you not to do that, because here's what happens. When you close the lid after you've been using it, those pillow tops are going to touch the top, and when you go to open this, all your pans come off on the lid, and it is a mess. I'm telling you. I have had that happen with this one so many times. Specifically, this blue, this one, I've had the yellow come off on the top. It's not the end of the world, but just if you're going to build a palette like this, maybe don't pillow top them like I did. I mean, I put a lot of paint in those. So I'm really scared of running out of paint. I don't know if you guys do that, but I like over prepare, overpack, because I'm so scared of running out of paint. And it's silly. I never have. I've never run out of paint ever. I went to Italy for 10 days and didn't even come close to running out of paint in my palette. It's silly. It's a really silly thing. So this one has, I'll go over the colors with you. And these are the palettes. It's not the palettes. These are the pans we poured together for the most part. They're the pans we put in here. I just moved them over to here. So we have, instead of the Aureolin, which is this one, we did the Quinopthalone Yellow, Nickel Azo, which is this poop colored one, Mars Yellow, Quinacridone Deep Gold, Quin Red, Transparent Red Oxide, Transparent Brown Oxide, Joseph Z's Cool Gray, Verditer, Cobalt Teal, and then this is my Forest Blue, my Forest Gray, my Daniel Smith mixes. And Prussian, this one has Prussian Green in it. This is Cascade Green and Green Gold for the win. And I don't know if I'm going to need these big old mixing areas, guys. I'm going to try this out. I may end up still doing the small pans if I want more colors. But if I have more colors, I don't need mixing area. So I'm kind of like, why do I do this to myself? I'm like agonizing over something that's silly. It's fun though. And like I said, I have enough pans to do this whole thing surrounded in the tiny pans, or I could fill the whole thing with both the larger pans and the tiny pans. So it's fun. I may actually end up taking this one out, like I said, and this one right here, because this is a lot of this color. I go through it like crazy because I use it for all the shadows, anything that's black, I use it for. But let me see how many small pans I could fit in this. Do you guys want to know how old I'm turning? Guess how old I'm turning. Let me give you some hints. I was born in the 80s. I have a son who is 19 and a son who is 18. And I've been married for 21 years. It'll be 22 years this June. So, have you made any guesses? I actually don't look my age, and it's kind of a blessing, but in the past, I didn't like it because I got told I wasn't old enough to work in a gas station because I wasn't 18, when in fact I was 21. So, but now that I'm older, I'm okay with it. So I'm actually turning the big 40, you guys. I am going to be 40 on January 9th. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Like, I love getting older. I'm the little sister in the family, and so I've always just been treated like a little sister. I have like a little sister complex, and so I really love getting older and feeling more mature. And I've always been an old soul, so it feels like my body is starting to catch up with my soul. All right. Got my pans out. Guys, I gotta tell you, these are not cheaply made. These are stainless steel. It says right here, stainless steel. If they weren't stainless steel, they would not stick to this magnet. If they were aluminum, they would just kind of not do anything at all. So that's what they would look like if I just filled it up the rest of the way. I don't know, it just feels like a lot of colors. But yeah, guys, these palettes are so fun. Another YouTuber said it felt like Tetris. You remember the game Tetris? Just trying to like do the different configurations of the squares and the rectangles, and they also have larger pans as well. Not just mixing, but they have larger pans. So there's just so many possibilities that you could do. Okay. So because I'm indecisive about this, this is just how it's going to be for now. I'm going to go take them out and I'm going to try them out and I'll report back and let you know if I decide to make any changes on this. But do you like my stickers? I had a lot of fun. I wanted I have a lot of stickers. I love stickers. And so I sat down with both of these and was like, all right, I need a theme. So you can kind of tell this one's orange and like turquoise or teal. And then this one is pink and gray. So there you go. Okay, I've made this super janky diagram of my palette in my sketchbook. I do this every time I build a palette. It's very fun. I highly recommend it. And it also helps you memorize your colors and it also helps you to kind of just play with them a little bit more. And then I'll probably do some mixes in the middle. So let's play. So let's grab our Quinopthalone Yellow. Such a bright, vibrant yellow. I haven't used this very much, but it was recommended to me by a fellow Daniel Smith brand ambassador, and she said she loves it, so I decided to give it a try. Next, we have my favorite nickel Azo Yellow. Next, Mars Yellow. So Mars Yellow is my answer for kind of like yellow ochre. I usually use transparent yellow oxide, but I've been searching for a replacement that is a little bit more toned down, but more transparent. So I really like this Mars Yellow. You have to have a yellow ochre type color in your palette, like your travel palette. I always find myself needing something like that. Okay, next is our Quinacridone Deep Gold. In mass tone, it looks like Quinacridone Sienna, but it also has this glow to it when washed out. Okay, and next is Quinacridone Red, and unlike its name says, it is more of a magenta than a red. It's beautiful for mixing. Okay, transparent red oxide. It's kind of my answer for burnt sienna. I like it because it has a lot more vibrancy to it and it has some really fun granulation. it kind of looks like rust. And now my answer for burnt umber, transparent brown oxide, and both of these are on my pet portrait palette, that's a mouthful, dot card. Now, something I like to do to my swatches before they get too dry is I'll go back through and add a droplet of water if they aren't too dry. And what this does is gives me blooms and blossoms and kind of shows me what they can do. And some of them I will soak up part of it so that I can see, I like to see the variations. There is such a thing as boring swatches. Sorry, guys. That's one thing I might challenge you to do if you're working on trying to loosen up in your watercolor or create watercolor that's more luminous. Sometimes playing around with your swatches can actually give you some light bulb moments and help you to understand how to achieve that. Okay, next we have Joseph Z's Cool Gray. And this is what I've been using lately in place of Payne's Gray. So Payne's Gray only has 2 pigments, whereas this has 3. And I just find this one to have a little more interest as it dries. Such a fun color. Okay, next is Verditer Blue. You can say it however you want. I think it's Verditer. And of course we have my favorite Cobalt Teal. I love Cobalt Teal. And I don't know why this palette is so dirty. I've got some weird stuff happening here. Okay, so I don't know if you've watched my last video, but in my last video where I put together my pocket palette, I made these 2 colors. These are my own mixes using Daniel Smith colors to replicate some of my favorite Schmincke super granulating colors, and I'm trying to see if I can create them myself, and I have success. So this first one is my Daniel Smith dupe of Schmincke Forest Blue. This is Cobalt Turquoise, Lunar Black, Lamp Black, Black Tourmaline Genuine. And the next one is my version of Forest Gray. It's not quite perfect, but it'll do. This one is also Cobalt Turquoise, but we have added enviro-friendly brown iron oxide, as well as, I want to say, lamp or lunar black. And this one, as it dries, separates out into some really fun colors. Okay, and next, my very top favorite Daniel Smith color of all time, Cascade Green. And it's funny, a lot of people ask me why this isn't on my dot card, and the reason being is my dot card was created strictly for my pet portraits. And I have not found myself to need Cascade Green in my pet portraiture work. It's fun to have, but it's more fun to have for my landscapes, urban sketching, things like that. Nature journaling. And our final color is green gold. This color is fantastic. Okay, our swatches are done and they are still drying. And while they are drying, I think it would be fun to go ahead and break in this shiny, clean new palette and start doing some mixing. So, you guys, this is the moment. Like these little mixing pans have not been used. Now, the packaging told me that I needed to clean them before using them just to kind of prime them, and it helps them not stain. So that is what I'm doing. It's just giving them a good little cleaning with a cloth. I scratched this one somehow. And so those ones are scratched. I'm not sure how I accomplished that, but I know it didn't come like that. Okay. So mixing is so much fun. Okay, the first color I want to make is purple, because as you can see on here, there's no purple. If I was going to include one, it would be Shadow Violet or Imperial Purple. Those are really fun colors, but or Rose of Ultramarine. We can actually make something quite similar. So let's play. The first ingredient I always use when making purple is Quinacridone Red. And of course, to make purple, you need blue. So we can choose from these two blues that we have here. Let's go ahead and choose Verditer. Ooh. Let's add a little more. That's blue. That's so pretty. All right. Now, let's see what they do. You really can't really, you can't really see the magic happen with watercolor until you add water and like let things flow. So if your watercolors feel flat and you're not seeing separation or granulation, you might want to add some water and see what happens. I would like to mix Cobalt Teal now with Quinacridone Red. Now this one is going to be fun, because guess what? It's a moody purple. Now, one thing that I like to do in my sketchbook is just take notes of what I've mixed. So this one, I'm going to do abbreviations. So I'm going to do Quin Red, Q Red, plus VB, which is Verditer Blue. I'm going to say Verditer because I'm used to it. If I'm saying it wrong, I really don't care. I know what I'm saying. I know what I mean. Whatever. Okay, so Cobalt Teal, I'm going to do CTB plus Q Red. And by the way, a lot of people ask about this pen. I love this thing. So this was 20 bucks on Amazon. It's metal. It's a fountain pen, as you can see. It's made by a company called Hongdian. I have a couple of these. They're amazing. And you can put whatever ink inside. And I have a waterproof black ink. That's really imperative, by the way, that it's waterproof. Okay, next I want to mix, let's see. I want to mix a deep dark brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our transparent brown oxide and I'm going to mix it with my Joseph Z's cool gray and make like a Van Dyke. Look at that. Nice. Okay, next I would like to make a moody green, like a moss green or an olive green. So I'm going to grab some Quinacridone Deep Gold. And I'm going to mix it with Forest Blue just to see what happens. You guys are witnessing history here. I am not sure what's going to happen. It could be totally bad. Ooh. Hello. Hello. That's pretty. Put a little more Quin Gold. Interesting. And then a little more Forest Blue. A little more Forest Blue. That's pretty. You just never know what you're going to get. It's like Forrest Gump says. Life is like a box of chocolates. A palette's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So I got to mix things. Okay, I am quickly running out of space here. But look how pretty these are. Gorgeous. Okay, Cobalt Teal is really fun to mix with yellow. You get some really pretty greens out of it. So let's do it. So I'm going to put some Cobalt Teal. I planned on this side being kind of like the cool colors and this one being the warm colors, but it's not. Right now I'm just kind of going crazy, I guess. I always love these greens. They are so intense. If you haven't mixed Cobalt Teal with yellow, you are missing out, my dear friend. Watch this. Oh, and one more thing I want to do. As you notice, I don't have a red in my palette. I actually don't use red. But if I need red, for whatever reason, I'm going to show you how I do it. So I've got Quinacridone Red, which is a magenta. See how magenta that is? It's almost like carmine. A little bit of nickel azo goes a long way for this. But basically, grab a little more. Basically, you make red by adding just a touch of yellow. And let's compare. I'll grab a little bit more. There you have it. There's red. Obviously, if you do more yellow, it starts going into orange territory like that. But you cannot make magenta using red, but you can make red using magenta, if that makes sense. So that's why I'd much prefer having magenta, and your purple mixes are going to be so much prettier. If you use red and blue for your purple mixes, you are missing out. There's a little more of that. I just don't like wasting palette stuff. You know what I mean? All these pretty colors on my palette. Okay, I want to show you what it's like cleaning off this palette. So I am going to just spray these down. They've all kind of dried. Try to use your palette dirt if you can. But just for the sake of seeing how these clean, they do stain a little bit, but From what I hear, Magic Eraser will do the trick. I don't mind a staining palette. I think it looks kind of cool, personally. I better get that before it disappears onto my desk. Look at that. And I think over time, the colors aren't going to bead up on it as much, just over time and use. So it'll be fun to see how this holds up over time, but the ones that I see online from other artists that have had them for a long time, it's almost like they get seasoned and they look really cool. And I really like the aesthetic, like I said, of the 28 small pans around the outside. But if I've got that many colors, I mean, right now I only have 10, 11, 12, 14. I have 14 colors, which is what I had done in this one, my original little guy. But I'm like, if I've got all this mixing area, why do I need 28 colors? I can just mix what I need. So we'll see. I might eat my words later and I might change it up, but for now, I'm really happy with it. I'm excited about it and I cannot wait to start sketching. So there you have it. There are my colors for my Art Toolkit Folio Palette. Let me know what you think. Do you think you will want to try this palette? Or have you tried it? What do you think about it? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for hanging out with me on my birthday. I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing week.